Are your ad campaigns lighting up the dashboard, but not the pipeline? That's bullspend, and marketers are calling it out in Dashboard Confessions.
My boss asked for results, so I opened my dashboard for the only positive-sounding metric I had: impressions.
Cut the bull spend. See revenue, not just reach. LinkedIn delivers the highest return on ad spend of major ad networks. Advertise on LinkedIn. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a $250 credit. Go to linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
I'm sorry for how disturbing this thought is about to be for y'all, because you actually might not be in the reality you think you are right now. This actually might be a fabricated universe in your own mind, and your real body and soul are actually dying on your deathbed right now. What's going to happen to us when we die? We are all living in this constant moment, all knowing that we are going to die one day. But everybody's acting like it's not the most horrifying thing you can ever think of. This is one story that comes personally from my family that does give me a lot of hope and faith in what's going to come after this life is over. So this is what happened to my grandpa right before he passed away. His brother-in-law Wayne was also his best friend when they were younger, and my Uncle Wayne actually passed away from being shot in the throat by another hunter during a horrible hunting accident. It's actually one of the reasons why you have to wear orange when you hunt now. This was a long time ago, and he was on his own land, but he was hunting right next to a neighbor's land. The neighbor thought he saw a deer coming through a bush, and he fired, and it hit my great Uncle Wayne right in the throat. As my grandpa was passing away in his old age, he was laying in bed, and he was getting weaker and weaker by the day, and he kept looking out in the hallway, and you got to think this is an old home out in the Appalachian, mountains, and he's looking out in the hallway, and he smiles, and he tells my mom, which is, obviously his daughter, he tells her, "Wayne's waiting on me. He's out in the hallway." And he kept looking out in the hallway smiling, because apparently Wayne was out in the hallway just waiting for him to pass so he could take him. I just got chills talking about that because
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come experience the beauty that awaits in Scotland. The sweep of wild coastlines, quiet lochs and untamed landscapes. Fresh cuisine that feels rooted in the land. Come experience the kind of stillness that stays with you long after you leave. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
This episode is brought to you by Perfect Bistro Cat Food. Cats, this ad is for you. Has your human ever called you picky, persnickety, choosy? If so, Perfect Bistro Cat Food is for you. With ingredients like wild-caught tuna and pasture-raised lamb, tantalizing textures, and delectable flavors that meet even the most discerning cat standards. You're not picky, you're just perfectionists. Perfect Bistro, mealtime perfection for every cat. Have your human visit perfectbistro.com.
my grandpa was such a serious man, and he believed with all of his heart that he was going to go to heaven, and that, God and Jesus and the Bible, all of it's 100% real. And in those last few moments, he would never talk about like seeing ghosts or spirits or anything supernatural, but in those last few moments, he literally said, "I see Wayne. He's saying something funny out in the hallway, and he's waiting for me to come on with him. He's telling me to hurry up. We got to go." A lot of people can say it's a DMT release, that, that's the chemical that releases as you're dying, that your brain kind of helps you calm down and cope with it so you don't like rage out in your moments of death, and it kind of comforts you. But what if that DMT is just the opening to the parallel to get you to the other side? That's opening up the gateway, because we do know in science that our body loses like 21 grams of weight the second we die. Some people say it's gas escaping. Some people say that's actually the soul and the spirit that it's escaping. You can hear so many stories of near-death experiences, and it's just wild when you listen to these near-death experiences. And my favorite one, and this one's probably one of the oddest ones, is the Red Lamp story. If you haven't heard the story of Red Lamp, it's essentially about this man that was talking about how he had this wonderful life. He got a job. He married his high school sweetheart, and they had a kid together, and they had a dog, and life was perfect and grand. And there was just one day that he was sitting on the couch looking at his lamp. He's like, I don't remember that lamp being red. I don't think this lamp is supposed to be red. And then he started looking around the room, and he noticed things about this room just don't look right, and they don't feel right. And then he started freaking out, telling his wife, something's wrong, something's wrong. And as he's talking about this to her, that something's wrong, this isn't right, everything starts to dissolve. And all of a sudden, he snaps to, and he's in a hospital bed. And it turns out he'd only been dead. He had been legally dead for 7 minutes before they were able to resuscitate him. Within that 7 minutes, his mind lived an entirely different life. Like, he truly missed this woman that was not real in this timeline, at least. Maybe that was like, we can get down the whole rabbit hole of your soul and living different lives and alternate dimensions, but he missed a woman that theoretically did not exist. He missed a child that he did not have. He missed friends that he didn't have. He had whole memories. In 7 minutes, his mind lived an entire life. Like, he was actually able to recall a whole lifetime worth of memories. No one understands how he did this. And some people say, oh, it was reincarnation, but it couldn't have been, because in this alternate life that he was living, he had modern day technology, so it couldn't have been from a life before the current life that he was living. He had over 30 years worth of very detailed memories. And it actually, in real life, it caused a lot of problems with him, because he couldn't decipher which memory was from this life and which memory was from the life that he lived in that 7 minutes. And it was really hard for him to reconnect and be intimate with his wife again, because he almost felt like he was cheating on this other wife that he had. It's just, he said that, only 7 minutes had passed, but 8 minutes ago felt like it wasn't real. It felt like that was an eternity, because he lived so long in those minutes. And it's mind-boggling, the stuff we don't know about our own mind and the way spirituality works. And, it's crazy to think about, like, in your final moments, you might live a whole nother life again. What if right now you're watching this video and you're in a whole different life? What if right now you're actually watching some kind of fabricated memory, and I'm actually standing here doing a fabricated story that my mind will remember, and I'm about to snap awake in a hospital bed somewhere? Who knows, but it's definitely trippy to think about. Years ago, I actually made the mistake of looking in this rabbit hole after partaking in some activities. And I looked into this rabbit hole all night, and I literally woke up screaming, hugging the toilet, because I could not remember the order of events that my life had happened in. And I did not know what timeline in my life I was at this current moment. Like, I didn't know if I was 20 again or if I was in my 30s again. I couldn't remember where I was in this moment in time. It was like, imagine your life in building blocks, and they're all in order. Like, here's kindergarten, here's first grade, and there's like a timeline. It was like somebody jumbled my blocks up, and I could not remember where in my own timeline I was. So I hope you have your mind right before you watch this.